Welcome to 5 Pints In, the show where we're literally 5 pints in. Cheers.
Cheers.
So, we're going to kick this week off. Ian got back into America, surprisingly, considering it seemed like it would have been an impossible feat, and they had a wanted poster of you up in the airports, but you somehow got by that. So, have you got any good stories from us, bringing them back to the States from England?
Yeah, well, firstly, mate, I was a little bit concerned about not getting in, so I ended up changing the flight and coming home a day early. But I really don't remember last week's podcast because obviously I was more than 5 pints in.
You said 15 at the time.
Well, I don't know. That might be a bit conservative, to be honest with you. So the fact is, I don't know what stories I told last week, and I don't really want to be going over anything. So. You better give me a shout if I start to repeat myself.
Will do.
But got back in, and what a weird situation, mate. It's a strange world we're living in right now, isn't it? A lot of sadness and misery about, but that's not what this podcast is about, is it?
No.
Hey, we're going to try and lighten things up and maybe tell a couple of stories from me playing days. Things that I was saving for the book, but I think at this time, with what's going on, I think some of them should come out, so...
Yeah,
we'll get on with that a little bit later.
I think people will be interested to hear them and then maybe read about them in more detail whenever that comes together, you know?
Well, I'll tell you what, my dancing wasn't the best. I realised I put it on Twitter as well, so... I've had a few, actually, haven't I? I've had a few dancing ones on Twitter.
Yeah, New Orleans comes to mind.
Yeah, it's becoming a cult thing, I think. Something that, when I'm 15 pints in, just comes out of me. I just can't help myself. I just hope people know that was a bread roll sticking out my pants, by the way.
What? I didn't get the reference. Did you, Connor? No,
I thought I sent you the video.
You said, "Do you like my bread roll?" And I thought that was a type of dance. But you actually had a bread roll sticking out your pocket?
Yeah, you're going to have to watch the video again.
Yeah, I'll watch I'll watch it again. I thought that was a type of new dance that I didn't know about. Have you seen my bread roll?
You nugget.
I was like, yeah.
No, it was one of them. Remember I said in the first podcast, the reason I'm doing this is because I don't want to do drunken tweets no more, but it looks like I'm doing both now.
Yeah, but now you're getting the audio to it as well.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Fantastic.
That's funny.
But I did made the most of it, the trip with all the games being cancelled. It was going to be the trip of a lifetime sort of thing. 6 games, 6 stadiums, and some great games, and obviously being invited back to Bournemouth and doing the interviews I was going to do, and everything got cancelled. I must admit, though, if I did talk about it last week, stop me, please do.
Yeah.
At least I got to the Arsenal-West Ham game and got amongst the West Ham fans, and, it really did make me want to go home. The way they made me feel, it made me want to go home, it really did. And I could go and watch every game with them, to be fair, standing amongst them. They were amazing to me.
Yeah. Well, I think this is more of a memory thing than an alcohol thing then, because we spoke about this 2 episodes ago, where I think you were only 5 pints in. So you're going back in time even further.
All right then.
You said it was a great time. I mean, there was such a build up to all the games you were going to. So that one, did it make the trip worth it? Even though you missed the other ones.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, they did. The result obviously wasn't the best, but just thinking about what's going to happen now. I'm reading different bits each day. I see something that really disappointed me in one of the papers. You never know whether it's 100% true. Players complaining about there'll be a fixture pile up when they do start, and what about fatigue and injuries and all that? It disappoints. It's your job. Yeah. You get paid for doing that. Well, let's not go to work. Let me, as a carpenter, I'm not going. Is that a profession still anymore? I don't know.
I think so, or a band.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah.
Everyone's relying on stats, though. That's what gets them the big paychecks. They're just like, if my stats okay, then I'm okay. It's not how you actually played.
Yeah. And then you say something, Steve. I know Wilf Zaha has done something nice. I think he's donated 50 properties or something if I seen it right. I was just reading over somebody's shoulder.
Yeah,
to the NHS workers, I think. So
there's been a lot of players. Joe Cole donated £25,000, I think, to the NHS. There's been a lot of players who've been doing a lot. Stephen Naismith actually, obviously played at Everton. He's now the Hearts captain. He took a 50% pay cut, saying, he wants the rest of half his salary to go towards back to the club, back to the people who, you got to think about the people who work for the clubs whose lives literally depend on it. I mean, these footballers, if they didn't play football or get paid for the next 5 years, they'd probably still be able to financially survive, But there's a lot of people living paycheck to paycheck who, like, their job is, their livelihood's on the line with all this.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, it is heartwarming a little bit to see people doing that sort of thing. This for me, I think I sort of underestimated it a little bit a couple of weeks ago. I didn't realise it was going to be this serious, Yeah. And the whole world's responded to it in the right way, and they're putting the faith in us to do the right thing,
Yeah, I mean, there's patches of it that I would disagree with you there in America, but the UK is just gone on lockdown today, actually. We were recording this, yesterday as this is coming out. But yeah, I mean, I know Kimmich and Leroy Sané. Kimmich started a foundation for it, and Sané donated quite a bit of money too. So it's good to see them all coming together, and it sort of goes beyond football, really, Yeah.
Well, I don't know about you two. I know you've got your PlayStation and all that stuff that you do, and you're still going to work, Geordie, but my golf course here is still open for the time being. Yeah. So at least I can go down the range and go and smack a few balls about,
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just, people just need to be responsible about it,
Yeah.
I mean, I know you've got a local that's opening up for you, haven't you, down there?
No, mate. No. No, that's not for anyone else's ears, is it?
Yeah, but as long as you're not going, getting it, and then taking it to old sick people, is what I'm saying, I mean, if I got it, there's no one that I see that I would spread it to that's gonna, die, like, you know what I mean? Get too sick from it.
Yeah, well, I think if I go out, mate, I'm just gonna walk down to the golf range, stocked up with food and that. Just hoping for a shorter period of time than what they're predicting, really.
Yeah.
And look, going back to the football, mate. I mean, the virus. I know it's a sad thing. People getting sick and ill, and a lot of people dying. Going back to the football, what do you reckon? There's been talk about finish the league behind closed doors. And I think to me that sort of makes the most sense. Yeah. Maybe in a selfish way as well, because at least it'll be televised and we'll have footy to watch. The congestion won't be as much. I know the game is about the supporters, but I think in this time and the strangeness of it all, the supporters can still watch it on the telly. And I feel for the Liverpool fans that if they do win it, well, they will win it, but they won't be there to. But look, it's a different time in life, isn't it? And I think we've got to do what needs to be done to save the congestion for next season. Maybe get them played behind closed doors. Make sure everybody's tested, the player-wise. Make sure everybody's healthy. And then maybe get them done and dusted. Yeah. I'm not even bothered about the Euros, mate. I don't even care about
the Euros have been pushed back officially to 2021, so that leaves the whole summer open. I don't know. I think it all depends on what the realistic time frame is, I mean, if it's gonna if we're gonna be done and dusted with this in the next 2 months, I would say let's wait and have the full effect of the end of the season where you can get fans in there. But if it's gonna take 9 months, then I think you need to finish out the games with.
That's the problem, mate. Nobody knows, do they?
Right?
So
yeah.
I think somebody's got to make that decision, make that choice, and get it done.
Yeah, but what about Rio Ferdinand has a different viewpoint on it. He's saying just void the league now. Now, is that the Man United in him looking at Liverpool at the top? Or is he,
No, I know Rio really well. He's not going to be looking at it like that. I think he's just finding a solution. Look, everybody's going to have their own opinion, aren't they?
Yeah.
I think anything but playing it out, whether it's behind closed doors or not, will just taint it a little bit. And, like we've talked about in the past, Liverpool deserve it, and they deserve to go and finish it and get presented and have it all, up there in lights for them. To be fair,
yeah, I just think. I mean,
you're going to get all contrast, and us three now we probably think different things. So, it's down to the FA and the league and the powers that be to just say, okay, if it's going to be safe to do it, let the teams play behind closed doors. Get it done for me.
Yeah, I mean, I do think, joking about the Man United-Liverpool rivalry, I do think Rio's looking at it as like, let's not consider entertainment before health. I mean, in putting it in black and white, he's saying let's just consider the health of the people in the country and everything. But I mean, to me, the top end of the table, as we've spoken about, is the least of the worries. I think it's the bottom end.
Well, that's why you have to finish it. That's why you have to finish it, because of what's happening at the bottom. You could give Liverpool the title right now. The Champions League places, that's not as important as what the relegation would be, I don't think. So, and that massive playoff game, but you're looking at West Brom, Leeds and the Fulhams and, the Brentfords, even a small club like that with the opportunity to do what the Bournemouth type clubs have done, and to enter the biggest league in the world, really. You can't deny them that after all the hard work that's gone on.
Yeah, I mean,
one season to the next.
Saying start again is, I mean, it's just a slap in the face. It's a different season.
Yeah, imagine saying that to when Leicester won the league.
Yeah, or going back to when City Gillingham in '99. I mean, you lived through that. How big of a game? Too? Yeah, we did. Yeah, how big of a game in the moment was that? Imagine if that was taken away from you a few games before. What would that have been like?
Oh, mate, it would have been gut wrenching. Tell you the truth, gut wrenching. But to be fair, mate, until the 90th to the 96th minute, I would have gladly stopped it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't going the best. And then our fortunes turned, and it made it one of the best days of my life. It could turn after 6 minutes. 6 minutes it turned and changed my life.
Yeah, changed your life and changed the route of Man City as a club in entirely, I think, too.
Yeah. But that's why you've got to play this out, because of the likes of Brentford and West Brom and Leeds, and especially Leeds, who haven't been there for so long. It's got to be played out. Look, in the precarious position that West Ham and Bournemouth are in, if I could say stop it and void it, happy days. But it's just not right to me to do that. You've got to finish it now. And in all honesty, they got themselves in that position. And I want to see them get out of it by finishing the league and doing it.
Yeah.
Not by any decision that's come across that null and voids it.
Yeah, I can completely agree. And I think they came out and said they're committed to finishing this season regardless of how long it takes and when it takes. Connor, Leeds coming up. How would you feel about that?
I was dying for it last season.
Yeah.
I was. That 2001 team is one of my favorite teams ever. I didn't like the whole sneaking, spying on other people's training sessions. But I would definitely say Leeds. If I had a second favorite team, they're definitely.
You must remember my goal then against them in the FA Cup against that team, mate.
Yeah, but
I know you don't like to admit it.
Yeah.
No. They did beat us 5-2 and put us 2-1 up, and then they ended up beating us 5-2.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that's like you said. It's been 17, 19 something years since they've.
It's been a while.
Yeah, I've always considered them a Premier League team, and it's been weird not having them in there, even though it has been almost 2 decades. But another thing, like you just said, they're getting robbed just as much as anyone else, just as much as Liverpool,
Actually, you're talking about that, mate. You brought me to a point where that FA Cup run had scored in the game before as well. Chester away, I think it was. And funny thing was, it was coming up to our Christmas party at Man City, and the the lads were saying, "Oh, can we do something different? Like, what would be different?" And we said, "Well, how about we see if we can go to Dublin instead of having a one-day Christmas party? We'll have a weekend in Dublin." And me being the older statesman, I said, "Well, I'll go and see if I can wrangle it with the gaffer, like, with Joe Royal. I'll go and see if I can get round him." So I went in to see Joe, and I went, "Joe, look, the lads..." And Joe didn't mind us having a pint, to be fair, and he knew we had a great camaraderie in the dressing room, and it was showing on the pitch. And we actually was coming up. We were playing Chester in the FA Cup, and the thing was, Joe had agreed. Joe said, "Yeah, but look, I don't want any stories, any trouble. I don't want any phone calls to the club." And I said, "Don't worry, Joe. I'll look after everyone." Now, I don't know how he took that, but he ended up letting us go. And obviously the responsibility was heaped on me. And what it was, we were playing Chester in the FA Cup, and then we sorted the dates out. And we went, right, okay, if we beat Chester, I think we've got Swindon at home on the Saturday. We'll get the bus straight from the ground, from Main Road, and then we'll go straight to the airport, fly to Dublin. We'll get Saturday night, and we'll have all day Sunday. We'll fly back Monday, because Joe would give us Monday off. I'd asked him for Monday off. Fly back Monday, everything will be brilliant. But if we was to draw with Chester, the replay was going to be that Tuesday. So he wouldn't have let us go to Dublin, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, if we drew. So the lads got together and said, "Look, whatever happens, we don't draw. We either win or we lose. we don't draw no matter what, okay? Win or lose." Anyway, so 10 minutes left in the Chester game. We're one each, aren't we? I think it was about 10 minutes left. Maybe 15, I don't know. Anyway, yours truly has popped up in the box. Don't know what I was doing there. Maybe Dublin meant a little bit more to me. It induced me into a forward run. And I've rose above everybody, headed one in the bottom corner. That was it, mate. We took off, went sliding nearly into the boards, the Man City fans. All the boys come sliding in. The fans are behind the goal singing, "We're all going to Wembley," thinking we were singing it as well. And we were all singing, "We're all going to Dublin." Sitting on the floor in the pitch in Chester. Brilliant, mate. And what a weekend. I'm not going into that one, no. That's for the book.
Yeah, I think we need a few episodes to go over that.
I'm not selling too many, mate, because then I can't write my book. It's giving too many secrets away.
Yeah. So, speaking of Man City games and remembering then, so there's probably some obvious games here, but what was your favorite game to play in when you think back?
Oh dear. Well, Man City or
let's keep it to City right now, and then we can do one for City, one for West Ham.
Well, I tell you what, I can go through quickly because it's fairly obvious with the Carlisle. We beat QPR, who were the first division team at the time. We beat QPR, knocked them out the FA Cup in 6 inches of mud, and that was a great night for us, especially a struggling team, a lower team like Carlisle, being the underdog and beating the big cheeses was it was a great day for us. Bournemouth, similar. I don't know why it's all going FA Cup way, but we had 2 great games with Man United. We drew at Dean Court, 1 each. I should have beat them. I think there's a YouTube video out there of the game.
I think I saw the video.
Yeah, Luther Bliss, I think it was the last minute. I've slipped the ball in behind. I think it was it Arthur Alderson? It might have been. I don't know, maybe. And Richie Kirk, little winger lad who I seen the other weekend, he's got in behind, put a great ball across. And as Luther slid in, Steve Bruce, because he couldn't catch him, whether it was purposely or not, I stood on the back of his boot. So instead of it hitting his foot in the boot, it hit the boot and knocked his boot off from a yard out. That would have been it. We'd have been in the quarterfinals, I think, of the FA Cup that season. And then we ended up going back to Old Trafford in the replay and losing 1-0 to, I think Sean O'Driscoll tried a back pass that come off his knee and Brian McClare tucked it away and we lost 1-0. But it was memorable. I had 2 great duels with the great Brian Robson, who was England captain at the time and one of the best players I ever played against. West Ham, look, let's go again. There's been a few at West Ham, but knocking Everton out of the FA Cup in the quarterfinals was memorable. Obviously, we were Division 2 team, they were First Division. And it was Howard Kendall who'd sold me twice. It was me first club that I played for. There was a lot. I was captain. There was a lot on that game itself. And then I can't talk about that FA Cup run without mentioning the semi-final. Even though it was a 4-0 loss, the fans that day were... I've never seen anything like that before, and I've never seen anything since. The support they gave us, even 4-0 down. Obviously, we weren't 4-0 worse than Forest that day. We'd had a man sent off after 20 minutes, Tony Gale, for what was a dodgy decision that sort of ruined my childhood dreams of walking up the Wembley staircase to pick up the FA Cup, I never got any closer than that. And they invaded the pitch afterwards and carried us off on the shoulders as if we'd won the game. Man City, well, okay, I can't talk about City without talking about the derby. The 5-1 in 89, the Gillingham game in 99. The fact that I think I may be the only player to have played for City in 3 different decades.
Showing your age there.
Mate, I can't hide it now. I've got a little grey beard.
Yeah.
It's sort of a giveaway. And as much as people think I do, I don't dye me hair either.
I don't
City,
think they have
West
a
Ham.
grey dye.
Well, Everton would have been easy, wouldn't it? Because I only had one appearance, so it could only have been that. Although the run we had in the FA Youth Cup where we lost to Norwich 3-2 away in front of 10,000. Then we beat them in the second leg 3-2 at Goodison in front of 15,000. And then the replay was back at Goodison and it was 25,000. It doesn't seem a lot now, but the first team back then was only getting 12,000. So it was us as apprentices, when the first team was saying, "Can you get me boots?" we were like, "Get them yourself."
That's funny. We don't talk a lot about your Miami Fusion days though. But do you have a game you remember specifically that comes to mind?
I have one.
Yeah, the Valderrama.
No. Go on.
Look, what it was, I remember I needed my cartilage surgery, the last of my meniscus taken out, and I'd obviously, when I was at West Ham, I had my first bit cut out. And I actually played a game 8 days after the surgery. Now, me and the physio pushed that like you wouldn't believe to get the full bend back as soon as possible. And my thinking was, well, it hurt before the surgery. It's just going to hurt the same after the surgery, isn't it? And look, at the end of the day, the game 8 days later, it was Millwall away at the old Den, and I wasn't going to miss that. Yeah. It was so hostile, but got through the game, and then obviously all them years later I come to the States and then I need my surgery again, and I go to the specialist and I say, okay, well look, we play in Chicago in 4 days and then we play Dallas at home in 10 days. I'm aiming to play in the Dallas game. So he went, no, it'll be 6 weeks. I went, nah, it won't. It'll be 10 days. I said, you'll be at the game and I'll buy you a beer afterwards. He went, not going to happen. I went, what, you won't come to the game? He said, no, 6 weeks for the cartilage surgery. I said, look, okay, let's leave it at that. You do what you got to do and take it out, and then I'll do the other side. Anyway, I didn't fly to Chicago because I was obviously on the crutches. I didn't fly with the team to Chicago. I did actually jump on a plane because I wanted to be with the lads, I jumped on a plane on my own, bought my own flight, jumped on a plane, just turned up at the hotel to watch the game. And then when the boys come back, obviously bandages came off. About 3 days before the Dallas game, I started running, got myself back into training the day before and played 90 minutes. The surgeon turned up for the game. We won 4-2. I played the whole 90 minutes and I had a beer with him after. He said to me, he went, "You're fucking nuts." That was his quote.
That's funny. I came across a video on a blog page actually today. It was of Tottenham West Ham. West Ham won 4-1, 4th of April '94, and the comment.
White Hart Lane.
Yeah, the comment says you had a hand in 3 goals and your stats would be off the charts if they had them back then.
Yeah, probably. You know,
like?
any game against Tottenham, mate. We always seem to do well against Tottenham, and Arsenal, if I remember rightly. I don't know why. It always seemed to be away from home.
Yeah.
Especially Arsenal, you know. But that game, yeah, if I remember, I think Trev did he get 2 that day? Mike Marsh and Stevie Jones, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Stevie Jones. I remember, Stevie's goal, I sort of broke from, I don't know, it was their corner. And I've made one of them forward. I must have been going to Dublin at the weekend. Yeah. I made one of them. I made a forward run, yeah. And rolled it into his path. Yeah. And he tucked it away brilliantly. Winning there is always special. I mean, look, you only need to speak to the West Ham fans. They'll tell you, you know, any win back then was big for us. But to go to your local rivals and do it, it was fantastic. I think, saying I had a hand in the third one, I sort of won a header. What they cleared out of the box, I just won the header that went to Trev. And Trev did he get bundled over by Gary Mabbott or something, if I remember rightly? I think he did, and then he tucked away the penalty.
Yeah.
And then the last one was a similar pass to the one I told you to Richie Cook for the Man United game. It was just the other side with my left foot to Matty Holmes, and I think he crossed it low for Mike Marsh. But it was brilliant. Them days, mate, when I think back, it's really too difficult to single out any game, because any little thing can happen in any certain moment, and it might be one of them little defining moments that you say, you know what, if this didn't happen, all that happened after wouldn't have happened, you know. So they all have meanings, and I'd like to think that. Obviously, don't remember, I played 700 competitive games, to be honest with you. You're not going to remember everything about everything, which was the good thing about going and seeing Willow and Kookie. They sort of rekindled things for me a little bit, and told me stories that sort of slipped out of my mind a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
And the fun thing is you're getting 3 different versions. I mean, that's really the reason why I haven't done a book yet, because it's only going to be my side of the story. And I'd rather have it where everybody involved in the stories that you tell had a chance to have their say, you know?
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yeah,
it'd be a cool format for a book, actually, if you had your version of the story, and then the next part was someone else's, and yeah.
We'd just give someone an idea now to make a fortune, son.
I'll cut this out.
Well, they won't have as many. They won't have as many stories.
Exactly. Yeah. They'll have to.
It's funny though, because I'm saying everybody has a different version because everyone was in different states. I think. Yeah. You know, obviously alcohol was involved most of the time because. Well, that's why this is 5 pints in, mate, innit?
Yeah.
Involve alcohol and you loosen tongues. So that's the whole point of it. I think it'd be great to do it as a documentary, really. Yeah. And I have spoken to people about it, and they do like the idea. So I'm just waiting to move forward with it. But I think that, you know, even to the extent where I said I don't want to hear what they have to say, and then I only hear it the first time when it's done.
Right.
And then maybe afterwards you'll have a little show where you're all sitting around a table, like them actor studio things, you know, and you'd all then pick holes in each other about why they said that.
Yeah.
It'll end up with a scrap, though.
Yeah, it won't be as civil as the end of The Irishman, will it? With Al Pacino and De Niro and them. No. We'll all look older than them, though, if you've seen the pictures of them putting on Twitter. Yeah.
Hey, Con, did you say, I know I digressed a little bit there, mate, but didn't you say you had a story about the Miami Fusion game that sticks in your mind?
Yeah, my favourite one, actually. All I remember, I must have been only 6, 7 years old at the time. Jordan maybe 9. And we were up in the stands. Cal Beckman was always there, so we were just like, we'd always talk to him. Now I think he was 19 at the time, and it was pouring raining, and it was against San Jose. And
yeah, it was San Jose, one of the semi-finals.
Yeah.
It was the deciding game, yeah.
Yeah, I
the
spoke to you.
deciding game,
Yeah, I remember speaking to you about this. Where because you always had you sewed your long sleeve shirt, the away kit, into the home kit, didn't you?
Yeah, because they didn't have any long sleeve shirts in the home kit, so the away sleeves sort of matched, and I got the kit man to sew the sleeves.
Wait, really? So it was white sleeves on blue?
It was white and blue. I think that's what the home sleeves were.
Oh,
anyway,
the home sleeves were white. Yeah. Because
blue
it was like
shirt,
City colours. Yeah.
It was a blue shirt, but it had white running down the arms. You know.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
But anyway.
It worked. Whatever he did, anyway, it worked. It didn't look too bad. People just thought it was weird wearing long sleeves in 90 degrees.
Yeah, I mean, at this point it was raining, so
they also didn't know that you had a passion for sewing either.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that.
I got a basket full of thimbles.
But anyway, I just remember me and Jordan were watching. Mum standing behind us, and Megan was 3 years old, whatever. And she's talking to all the other footballers' wives and that. And me and Jordan watching the game, and we see you get sent off, and I'm like laughing. I go to Mum, and it's like, "Oh, Dad's just got sent off."
Oh, that's great. Isn't that your favourite game? Was when I got red carded?
Yeah,
brilliant.
Yeah, it was, honestly. And she's like, "Oh no, he didn't." And I'm like, "Okay, he did." And then she's like, kind of like not shoved me away, but like, "Oh, I don't believe you," because like I'm like, "Well, he's just throwing his shirt at the ref." She's like, "All right, whatever. You just keep doing what you're doing." And then so someone else has told her. I think it might have been Cal Beckham, and just been like, "Oh no, he's just got sent off." And I remember it was pouring rain. You just got your second yellow for some bullshit diving. I don't remember the name or anyone.
Jeff Agus, mate. Jeff Agus. I missed him. The keeper threw it out, and I read it, and I was nipping in front of him, and I took the ball down with the sole of my boots, right? And I didn't even have studs on. I was wearing copers. Took the ball down with the sole of my boots. He realised what was happening. I would have been through. It was 10 minutes from the end of the deciding game in the semi-final.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, and we would have gone. I'm not saying I would have scored, but I would have fancied myself to tuck it away. And he just jumped in the air. I seen the video. I missed him by a foot, a complete foot. I missed him. He jumps in the air. But then what you got to remember, mate, they stiffed us that year, the MLS. We had 6 red cards in 6 playoff games, and then they folded the club. They probably couldn't have folded the club if we'd have gone on and won it. So I'm sure they had the refs in their pocket. And it was all done purposely.
It seemed that because, I mean, we had a little hold of the game even at like a young age, and so we would always notice you dominated 90-80% of your games, you know, and you were still getting sent off. And even looking back at like YouTube clips now, but I just remember, and it always makes me laugh, just remember you taking your shirt off.
I know what you're going to say now.
In the pouring rain, and just like throwing it at the ref's face. And soaking wet. Yeah. In my memory, I can hear it slapping him in the face, but obviously I couldn't hear it from then. And I remember going down to the dressing room because someone's finally told Mum, and been like, "Oh, we have to go down." We're walking down, and we know you're gonna be we know you're gonna be pissed off. And I can't. I'm laughing the whole way down, just giggling down, walking down. Yeah, I loved it. That's my favorite memory from any Miami Fusion game ever.
Yeah, I mean, they folded the club. I ended up coming back to sort my visa out, getting a phone call. I got told by phone that my contract was done and that they'd stiffed us, you know, and it was gut-wrenching. I thought I could have played for another 4 or 5 years.
I remember
and
that,
it sort of prematurely retired me, but I do remember I was waiting in the tunnel with my shirt off, and I was waiting for the game to finish because I was going to knock them out. What a prick.
You think that ref took the shirt on and framed it?
I don't know, mate, because I never seen it again.
Yeah.
I did get a $750 fine, though.
That's not bad compared to...
I do remember that one.
Cover your sewing kit.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
For the next shirt.
Yeah. What was it? Didn't you say something about the 6-1, the Man United 6-1?
Yeah. We were talking about your favourite games. You obviously brought up the derby.
The 5-1, yeah, from 89.
5-1. I remember watching when City... I don't remember the year. It was a couple of years ago. They beat United 6-1.
2012, wasn't it?
12? Yeah, was it that year?
Pretty sure it was 2012.
Jesus.
Yeah, it might have been, yeah.
Yeah, I remember watching the game with you.
Our researchers should know, really.
Yeah, they should. We should probably hire one. No, I remember watching the game with you.
2011.
2011. Okay, yeah. I didn't think it was the same because I feel like that would have been talked about as well. But I remember watching the game with you, and I think it went 4-0 up or something.
Yeah.
And you were getting nervous, and you're like, this isn't good. And then it goes, I think 4-1, then 5-1, and you're like, Jesus, I don't like this. And I think Jacko scored. And I remember,
he did, yeah. David Silva, what a quality volley through ball.
Yeah.
I remember
okay. Yeah.
I mean, it deserved that pass deserved the goal, but I just didn't want it to go in.
Yeah, I remember you looking at me and be like, "No one's going to remember me after this." Because every
That's
time,
how I felt.
Yeah,
It was the same season though, the 2012 season.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's
scored.
It was funny because it was it's very similar to the 5-1. Like you look at. Like it seemed like every chance you had, you put away, and like Darren Fletcher that put it in the top corner. I mean, you look at Mark Hughes' bicycle. Like Man United scored a great goal, but still got dominated. I don't know. It was a funny thing to witness.
I mean, it's the similarities. That's what happens in football. You know, it's weird how things sort of relate to each other. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you've seen it, but one thing that always I watch it every now and again is the Aguero commentary on Paul Dickoff's goal at Wembley.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Uncanny.
It lines up almost perfectly.
Uncanny. Yeah, uncanny. Yeah, so I mean, it was a little bit of a strange feeling watching a 6-goal go in. I think I've actually said it when I've been back at the Etihad. You know that. Okay, I was happy for the win, and I do want to trounce Man United, but I didn't want anything to sour what we did all them years ago, because it was still, and to be fair, it hasn't. You know, whenever the derby comes on, they still talk about it and I still get plenty of tweets and people put it back out there, which is lovely. You know,
it almost did a good thing for that game, though. You know, it was like
a reminder.
Yeah, it was almost like, remember, we've done this before. I mean, the whole demolition derby talk came up again. You know, and it sort of brought light to that, like this has been done before. And also, not to discount the 2011 game, but City were in a way different position in the 5-1.
Massive underdogs,
you know what I mean?
Massive underdogs.
No, I mean, not to discredit, the 6-1, but
yeah, no. But United had spent all the money that season. They were the big club. They were the ones spending. I think Paul Ince was a massive signing as well.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And we were by far the underdogs. I know the 2011 was different, but still great as well. You still feel that euphoria when it's your team. You know, I mean, you have it as a supporter with your team. You know, to have it as to have played for the team as well. It gives it a little bit deeper feeling for you. You know what I mean? It's like when I've said about I'm an Arsenal fan, but I don't have the same love for them as I do for the clubs that I played for. It's a different love you have inside, you know. But I'm happy that it didn't quell, you know, the happiness, because what you do have is the memories of the people that were there.
Well,
you know.
Yeah. One thing about City, and I'm sure it's the same with a lot of clubs that come from, you know, in the lower leagues up to the top, it's like it's all viewed as like a journey. Like looking back at those games, it was all on the way to where City are now, you know. And I mean, just talking from a Man City perspective, not to just completely turn it that direction, but you know, people say City wouldn't be where they are now without the Gillingham win in '99 at Wembley. You know, mate,
that gives you an amazing sense of pride. You know, to think they could just forget. You know, it's
right.
They have what they have now. They could get carried away with all the success and everything that's happened to the club. The fact that they still say that and remember that gives me such a sense of pride, and that I actually played a part in the club's history. You know, it's just comforting and satisfying to know that I was part of it.
I mean,
I spoke to Mark Patterson the other day, who played for Gillingham that day. You know.
Yeah,
he was gonna come and visit me in London, but obviously with what's gone on with the virus and stuff, he didn't do it. But he said to me, "Did I want the shirts? Because I swapped shirts with him." He obviously lived with me when we played together at Carlisle, and then we stayed friends. I was best man at his wedding, you know. we stayed friends. The story at the time was Paul Dickhoff and Vince Bartram being best friends and best men. We didn't really do the story, me and Patty, but he said, I've got both shirts, the spare one you gave to me and his match one, which is what we did. We kept the match one and gave the spare one away. He said, I wonder if you wanted them. I said, well, yeah. He said, rather than give it, he asked his son. He said, I said to my son, do you want the shirt? He went, what for?
Next best
and
thing.
then he said, well, will you just sign it? Then I can frame them both together and maybe, I don't know, maybe it'll go up with Gillingham or whatever at the club. Because I said, if I was to give shirts away, I would give them to the Man City Museum or something, so they'd be there for everybody to see.
Yeah.
But obviously, if I was giving away, I'd never give my shirts away because the ones I've got are for you two, so. Which you have to collect shortly, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean,
we've clogging up my cupboards.
We've got some space on the wall here for a few more shirts. I mean, next to Aguero and Sane, and we've got Mark Noble up here. We actually got a good response from posting the picture of the studio on Facebook.
Yeah, we do need a couple of others up there, though, mate. I did
ask Big
Willow
ones.
Yeah, really. I did ask Big Willow and Cookie, did they get their shirts from that season?
Yeah.
And they said they did. I have no clue where mine is. I never got it. I never got given it.
I'm sure.
And I don't know where it is. I mean, if anybody's listening and they know the whereabouts, put it on the back of a milk carton or something.
Have you seen this? Do people still use milk cartons?
I don't know, mate.
No, I think the internet took over that industry. Yeah. With the talking about the 6-1, just briefly again. Do you think the players knew beforehand? I mean, I want to feel like they did know that, like, all right, well, we've beaten Man City's beaten Man United 5-1 before. You got to kind of top it, because even until like the last 10 minutes, they were still like that 6th goal. It seemed like everything. It seemed like the players knew, even though like you said, like obviously it's years and years and. And I just think that's a feeling you get, mate. You don't go out with that. You go out thinking, if we win 1-0, I'll be happy. Especially away from home in a derby match, just the win itself. And I think once you get that feel that you can't do anything wrong, that everything's going in, you just keep powering forward, and it just takes over you. It really does. Yeah, I mean, like I say, Man United's best games every season, in my opinion, are when they play against City. Whether they win or lose they play their best football.
They do. They look like a good. They look like a good Man United, but the rest of the season they've been doing poor.
It's like they're playing like a Champions League semi-final, and
So, we've had a few stories. What? I mean, have you got? Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to lighten the mood a little bit. Maybe give people a little bit of an insight into things that happened, and that maybe they may get the impression that I didn't just start being stupid later on in life. That I was always stupid, and obviously you two know as well as anybody, because it still happens when we go out together.
Yeah.
It just can't be helped, as was proved with me dance class. I just can't stop myself.
With your bread roll class.
With my bread roll and dance class, yeah. So, I mean, if I think back at my Everton days when we were young and a little bit stupid, like really nothing. There's a fear there that don't want to do nothing wrong. I got to get signed professional. So there was really nothing out of the ordinary we did there. I just remember, we had our first shandy at 15 or whatever, and then it advanced to lager tops, and then eventually we became proper drinkers. And like I said, ended up making it to the FA Youth Cup final, where unfortunately we did lose in that replay at Goodison Park 1-0, and we'd missed a pen in the second leg, what would have won it for us in extra time. Then obviously the Carlisle days, which I think one story I remember was, and then again, if there's any kids listening, don't be trying this at home, please. We were in the pub, me, John Alpin, Paul Gorman, Wes Saunders, Mick Alsall, and I think it might have been Mick McCartney or Paul Haig, but there was too many of us to fit in the car coming home, and there's 3 in the back, 2 in the front. And if I remember right, it was an Ford Orion 1.6 injection. And it had a little boot on it, like a tiny boot. I said, look, they went, get in the boot. I went, no, I'll get a taxi. They went, no, I'll get in the boot. And I opened the boot and went, I'm not getting in there. I know for a fact you won't let me out. So I didn't trust anyone. So I ended up, I think it was about 3 miles from the pub to the house. I ended up riding home on the bonnet of the car, laying on the bonnet, holding the windscreen wipers. And Wes was doing about 40 mile an hour. And as he was going around the corners, I was pretending I was sliding off to the side. And I just remember looking at Johnny Alpin's face in the passenger seat. I don't know whether he was laughing out of fear or whether he was just laughing out of fear because how stupid it was, you know. So good days, mate. Good lads, good bunch of lads. You know, we didn't have the best of luck as far as relegations. 2 relegations, and then finished second to bottom of the 4th division. So, but what a good bunch of lads. It's funny how wherever you go, like, I know for a fact, wherever I've moved clubs, I've gone, you know what, I've probably changed my ways here. Nobody knows what you're like, but you'd always end up drifting to the similar type of people.
Yeah.
Which, if you didn't, there wouldn't be stories, would they?
No.
So, and then Bournemouth, what was it? I think I mentioned the one about stripping Willow in Lisbon.
You did, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, well, I'd been at the club for a whole week before I got in trouble with Harry for the first time, which was great. And they did remind me that when Harry had me in the office, I was saying, I don't know why it happened, Harry. I don't even drink. but a month later, we're playing Brighton away, and me, Willow, and Noose, you know, Uncle Mark, as you know him as, but Noose. Yeah. We've gone, okay, it's Thursday. The rule is you can't drink 48 hours before a game. So if we go out at 11 and we finish by 3, we're in, we're okay. Anyway, we drive into the town centre. I park my car on this, it's like on the curb, but there's yellow lines, but I'm off the road. So I've gone on the curb in somebody's parking spot, I think, at the back of a shop. And we go and have a couple of scoops. And to be fair, I'm not training on the Friday. I'm getting treatment because I had a bit of an ankle sprain, but I was going to play. And so 3 o'clock comes, and obviously now that you're 5 pints in, you go, you know what, we can just sneak a couple more. Nobody knows us. Nobody's around. Nobody else said anything. So we have a couple more, right? And then I figured I've had too much to drive my car. So I'll leave my car there. Anyway, I get a lift to the ground in the morning. Funny thing was, the training ground was out by Herne Airport, and the stadium was in King's Park, so I was getting treatment at the ground. And then the physio's in the office with me, in the treatment room, sorry. And then I see him look towards the door, but I couldn't see the door. And then he walks out. As he walks out, I hear the door slam, and Harry walks in. And he goes, all right, Bish? I went, yeah, my ankle's going to be fine. I'm just having a bit of ice and heat. I won't have you, but I'll be good to go tomorrow. He went, no, I didn't mean that. I went, oh, yeah, I'm all right. He went, pissed last night? I went, what? He went, you were out drunk yesterday. I went, no, I wasn't. He went, yeah, you was. I've just had a phone call. The police have got your car. You'd left the boot open and you had your golf clubs in the back. And I thought, no, he's lying. I didn't leave the boot open. I may have left it unlocked and somebody's opened it. So anyway, I'm thinking, oh, shit. And then I've come out with this story. I went, H, look, I said, in all honesty, I had 2 pints of Guinness in this pub, and then I had 2 pints of Guinness in that pub. He went, you're drinking on a Thursday pub? I said, Ali, I have 2 pints of Guinness every single day, mate. I said, that's just what I've always done. No, it's iron. He's going, yeah, don't give me that shit. Don't give me that shit. And I went, right. He said, you wait here. I went, oh, shit. Anyway, his son, Mark, was in and about the treatment room. And I went, oh, Harry walked out. I went, Mark, do me a favour, mate. I've got to go and get my car, and then I've got to get to the training ground and tell Noose and Willow what to say to your dad. Because He obviously knew who I was with because that was the three we hung around together, you know. So anyway, I go get my car. I think I'll drive back to the ground and I'll just check if Harry's car's still there. And if his car's still there, I can sod off down to the training ground.
Yeah.
I get back to the ground and his car was gone. And I'm like, oh no, what do I do now? So I sort of waited for a little bit and then I thought, no, I'll just get myself home. And I was actually staying with Willow. So I went back to Willow's flat and I'm just waiting for him to come in. And then I hear the door go later on. And he goes, what the fuck are you doing? Snitching on us? He said, you snitched on us. I went, no, I didn't snitch. He said, yeah, Harry pulled me a noose after training. And he went, don't even want to ask you. Don't want you to lie to me. You were in this pub and had 2 pints. You were in that pub and had 2 pints. I thought, yes, happy days. Because if he'd have said them, what two pubs were you in? They might have said other pubs, you know?
Yeah.
So in the end, I went, well, honestly, mate, we've got away with it. Well, Harry pulls us and says, that's it. I said, no, sorry, he told them, he said, what? I said, what did he say to you? He said, that's it, we're not playing. He's leaving the three of us out, Brighton away. I went, no. He went, yeah, leaving the three of us out. Anyway, later on, we get the phone call. He can't leave us out because somebody was injured and he couldn't leave two out and not the other one. So we end up going to Brighton, don't we? We play, we win 2-1. Sean Brooks scored a worldie top corner. I couldn't thank him enough. And then that was it. That was it. Forgotten.
Yeah.
Forgotten. It's amazing what a win will do for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely didn't say anything after that.
No, didn't say nothing, no.
Yeah, it went all according to plan.
Yeah, got away with it.
That's funny. So then what about West Ham then? You spent a long time there. I'm sure there's many stories that are going to come up.
Well, there's many already come out, I think, mate. I think the one I'll tell, though, was the first one. When I first got there, Lou McCarty was manager, and he'd mentioned to some of the fatties that he wanted them to go to the health farm in pre-season, and two of them pulled out, and he ended up taking me, Trev, Frank McAvenny, and Georgie Paris to a place called Henlow Grange, I think it's in Hertfordshire. So Lou was going through some troubles with something that had gone on at Swindon, with the chairman and stuff in the past. And to be fair, he was a taskmaster where it came to fitness. So you got me, Frank, Trev, and Georgie Paris. And we weren't the fittest four, to be honest with you. I mean, I wasn't heavy, but the thing Lou had said to me, just because you're thin doesn't mean you're not fat. I thought, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That's my new manager. I think he referenced everything to the horse racing, which he didn't like us having a pint, but didn't mind us having a bet. So he referenced, a horse, if it carries a pound less, it's a length in running, which is true. I know that because I'm a gambler. So anyway, we get there, and on the way in, we notice it's a really long driveway, but there's a pub right by the main road, by the gates of the driveway. And we obviously clocked it. Anyway, Lou's got us up at 6 o'clock in the morning, doing like a 5-mile run. And then we're in the gym, we're pounding it. There's no real food for us to eat. There was two women in there. We actually paid them £10 for a packet of biscuits. It was that desperate. And honestly, it was like apples and lettuce. It was shocking. And then doing all the hard work. Anyway, Lou's had his ongoing problems and stuff. This I think it was the second to last day, we heard, like, after we'd done our work, there was a hypnotist coming in to do a sort of show for everybody at the health club. And Lou had been telling us the whole time he was there, he had this toothache, right? And he kept touching it with his finger. He's like, oh no, it's really bad, complaining all the time. And anyway, we're standing at the back of the room, and the hypnotist has got like an armchair in the front, says, right, has anybody got any ailments, any pains, any problems, back, neck, whatever? Has anyone got any problems? We went, yeah, he's got a toothache. Lou's gone, no, I haven't, honestly. He went, he has. He's been moaning about it the whole time we've been here. He's got a toothache. Anyway, the fella says, the hypnotist says to Lou, come and sit down. Lou goes, no, honestly, he said, come and sit down. So Lou reluctantly goes over there. And I really don't believe that when they put you under, they put you under, I don't know. Mm-hmm. I'm just not a believer in that you really go out. Anyway, he puts Lou to sleep. And we all sod off out to the pub. While he's sitting on a chair asleep. We end up going right down the long driveway. We're in the pub. Anyway, obviously the landlord realised who we were.
Yeah.
We had to stay behind. We get back into the rooms literally 5:30 in the morning. Right? Yeah. 5:30 in the morning. We literally had to take our clothes off, get in the bed, get out the other side, put our kit on, and go downstairs ready for the 5-mile run. And as we come out the rooms and go downstairs, the fella who ran the place went, oh, fellas, you've been left a note. Lou had to leave at 11 o'clock the night before. And said, don't worry, just go for your run and then make your way back. We just all went back to bed. Till about 12 o'clock and then made our way back slowly. I don't think he ever knew anything about it.
That's funny. And that's another... How long were you there for before that?
4 days.
4 days?
I think it was only 4 days.
So
another one while we were there, Frank, the little git. He said he had a business meeting and went and spoke to Lou in the afternoon and said, look, I have to go out for a business meeting. Is it okay, Lou? And Lou went, yeah, okay. He said, I'll be back about 6ish. He only comes back, we're starving. He only comes back with a friggin' McDonald's hat on, doesn't he? Shambles.
A
McDonald's hat, yeah. I don't know, they used to do these paper hats.
Oh, okay, it was like as a toy, yeah.
Like a paper cap with the McDonald's sign on it.
You were saying business. I thought it was some sort of sponsorship or something.
Yeah, right.
No, I think he was just lying just to go to McDonald's.
Well, so that story's 4 days in. The Bournemouth story was, what, a week in that you told last week?
Yeah.
So
you have to start as you mean to go on, don't you?
Exactly, but that means we're only in the beginning of this journey of stories. So you're starting from the beginning.
Well, it was 9 years at West Ham.
Well, I can assure the listeners we've got plenty of stories over this long football break to fill in the gaps. So
don't want to spoil them all, mate.
Yeah,
don't want to get them all.
Not too many.
Once.
Yeah.
So let's speaking of West Ham, let's shift gears. We're moving into the end of the episode here. So a teammate of yours, John Hartson, old Celtic striker, said recently that Rangers should concede the title to Celtic. Now, this is obviously going back to like the state of the leagues and all that. Celtic,
I think it's similar, mate. Yeah, I think it's similar. I think you've got to see it out. And what is it? Are they 13 points or something?
13 points. Rangers have a game in hand. There's Celtic have 8 games left. Rangers have 9.
Do they play each other?
Let me look that up. I don't think so.
That'll make. If it is, it'll only be once, and that'll be.
It's weird in the Scottish League they play each other 3 times.
I mean, that makes a huge difference. Then it's 10 points. That's 4 games.
But either way, Con, I think they've got to play it out. I think you've just got to say, okay, close doors, finish the league. Let's get it done and move on. Because nobody knows how long this is going to go on for.
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know. I think they've got to play it out. I think just for the the state of the sport. I'm on 6. I'm on 6 now. I've lost my words. No, just for the integrity of the sport. That's the word I was looking for. The integrity of the sport. I think all leagues just you play it out, and then it might affect next season, but they'll adapt over the next season and the season after. Yeah. And I mean,
if Johnny speaks, there's truth in his words as well. But like you said with Rio, people have opinions, and I mean I have got some stories with Johnny actually. I mean, well, if he's listening, don't be scared. Man.
Yeah. Well, before I say that too, that's just the headline that came out. Who knows if that's exactly what he said. It was just a headline on a certain news site that I read. So, I mean, it could be misquoted. Who knows? Because the media does that all the time. So, It's just what.
All right.
It's just what I
What
read.
else is happening, mate?
So we've got a few transfer rumours that involve West Ham, Man City, and Chelsea. I read today, and it could be rumour as well. Declan Rice to Chelsea.
I don't see why they wouldn't want him. I don't see why another club, another big club, wouldn't want him.
To be sorry, I just got a button really quick just to nip it in the bud. I'm gonna say this the same thing as Barkley. Like, don't, as much as I want you, don't come to Chelsea. We don't need you. No. I love him, and I would love him for the future. But I think, as an England player, I don't think you're gonna develop. The same thing I've said about Barkley. I mean, he's been playing well lately before this whole stoppage.
Well, we're on the same side there, mate, because I don't want him to go. Okay.
I agree. Also, you've got Conte, who's one of the best holding midfielders in the world, and he's not being played.
Like, you don't need him.
I mean, I don't put Jorginho or Kovacic up there, but I'm just saying Conte. I mean, you've got Conte, and that he plays that number 6 role. That's it.
Well, I'm not letting him go anyway, so that's it.
Good to hear. So that's the end of it.
That's the end of that. He's not gone.
The next one, I mean, I'd like to see just further. I'd like to see Rice develop and play for England while at West Ham. I think that would be, it'll. Yeah. I think it'll.
Good for the club.
Yeah, exactly. Good for the club. Good for him as well. I think as he develops.
Good for the country is him going in a top 4 team playing Champions League football. We know he's better than some of the holding midfield players that are playing in Champions League football that are in English teams. And he deserves it more than others.
Yeah,
All right.
All right, that's it. Man City, mate.
Next one, happening? Man City. We read about David Alaba to Man City from Bayern Munich. Supposedly, he's definitely leaving Bayern Munich in the summer. If the summer, I mean, who knows what the summer transfer window?
Right? Is that right? Supposedly, he's definitely.
Supposedly, definitely. That's a good catch.
Right, okay.
Supposedly, definitely. Allegedly, supposedly, definitely leaving Bayern Munich.
Supposedly.
Is that like playing a full half?
Yeah, exactly. That's like I drank half the whole amount. So apparently he's leaving Bayern Munich in the summer, depending on what the summer transfer window looks like, because who knows what's going on with that anyway.
Good player, mate. Good player, quality
great
player. But does that mean that they're not sure about Mendy?
Well, I mean they let.
Or is it because he can play right back and left back?
Well, he can play. So Alaba plays left back, centre back, defensive mid. I know for Austria he played defensive mid quite a bit. Yeah. He's a great left back. Mendy is phenomenal left back, but can he stay fit? City let Angelino go to Salzburg, and he's doing great there, and he's only on loan, but I think he's got a buyout clause pretty low. He's decent as well, but all we have now is really Mendy and Zinchenko. He's a midfielder, and I love Zinchenko. He's great, but I think is Mendy going to stay fit? Does he need competition? And could they?
You do, mate. You do, don't you? You need 2 quality players in every position.
I would like to see Zinchenko not have to play left back.
Exactly.
At City as well,
it's like bringing in João Cancelo, and then Kyle Walker picked up the pace, and he didn't. João Cancelo didn't get a look in the team because Walker.
But that's what you want as a manager, mate. That's what you want. You want players to come in and push the ones you've got, and you're always going to get the best out there, whichever player's on form at the time, and that's just the way it should be. That's the competition that you sign up for,
I mean, I think Pep views Alaba too as sort of like Philip Lahm, how he was a right back and he started playing him defensive mid at Bayern.
Yeah, he spoke very highly of him. Didn't he say the most intelligent footballer he's ever worked with?
Exactly, yeah, and Alaba plays defensive mid as well, so I think they're looking at a diverse player who can cover multiple positions for injuries and stuff like that, so you're basically getting 3 players for the price of one, albeit you can't play them in 3 positions at once. But
well, let's hope. Look, even if it is players leaving, if it is Declan Rice going, at least if it's happening, we've got football back anyway.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a good note to end it on. Hopefully the football will be back soon. But we've got
been fun.
I'm sure you can assure the listeners that we've got plenty of stories to hold us over until the football is back.
I just want to add one last little thing in there. Around Christmas time, you should remember we had I think it was about a 2-week, maybe almost 3-week, not argument, but a discussion. You said Paul Gascoigne.
What's a discussion?
where we didn't agree.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I
them,
wouldn't call it an
And
argument,
we yelled
but,
a little bit.
No, but you said I couldn't name 10 players better than Gascoigne ever, and we went through pretty much everyone that's ever put on a pair of football boots. I was just gonna say, if you want to add that into next episode, if we could actually name all 10 people that were better than Gascoigne.
Well, why don't people tweet into at 5 Pints In and give us there that they think 10 players that were better than Gascoigne.
Is it just 10 all-round players, any position better than Gascoigne?
Yeah.
10 players that
No
excelled
goalkeepers.
wherever they played.
Which I don't think any goalkeeper is better, but
I think that's a good debate. We'll get a poll going on Twitter as well. I'll get that going,
Instagram.
and we'll get the results, and we'll get it on Instagram. And that's a reminder. Yeah, so write in your look out for the poll first of all. We'll get that sorted on Twitter at 5 Pints In. The Instagram's at 5pintsin.podcast. You'll find us on facebook.com/5pintsin. And if you want to listen to us on any podcast app, you can go to anchor.fm/5pintsin, and you'll find links to the Apple Podcast, Spotify, Overcast, Google Podcasts, all that stuff. And then we're also on the YouTube as well. We tweet out those links regularly. So, all right, guys, I think this is a good place to end.
Cheers, fellas.
Good chat this week.
Fun. Been fun.
All right.
Been fun, and I'll speak to you later. Okay.
Yep. Talk to you next week.
Thanks everyone for listening. By the way.
Talk to you next week.